Boruto, 2 Blue Vortex. I am your handsome king nerdy bear. As usual, due to copyright reasons I cannot show you every single panel, but I will show you the good stuff, because the good stuff is what matters. Yeah!
And there's a change going on in this world right now, yeah.
Chapter 10, we got Himawari and the Nine-Tails plushie. Yes, I'm going to call it a Nine-Tails plushie until I find if he's truly Kurama. Well, even if we confirm if he's Kurama, I'm still going to call him the Nine-Tails plushie until he grows. So yeah, it's going to be that way. And then the title of the chapter is called Colonel. We shall now flip the page, or in this case, scroll the page. All right, we got pages 2 and 3 on these panels. So we're on Inoji's bird-sized son, and then looks like Jura. He has his line of dialogue, and he says, "They must know they can't outrun us. Perhaps they've changed the field of battle to reduce harm to their village." And then looks like the Sasuke clone Hidari is just chilling with his hood. And then looks like there's another line of dialogue. Found him over here. And so we flip over to this next panel. We got Kamaharu. Looks like he's leading a strike team of Shinobi. He says, "Kamaharu here, confirming 2 trespassers, but no sign of Team 10. Shikamaru says, "Relax, team. 10 Tails okay for now. They've taken Himawari and are traveling southwest in order to lead the trespassers away." And so then Shikamaru says, looks like he's saying this out loud now. He says, "It's unclear why, but the duo's target is Himawari. All hands support Team 10. The sensor unit will share their location." All right, some good coordination there. And then we switch back to Kawaki here. And then with Delta, and he says Himawari. And then looks like Boruto's just chilling on a balcony here. He's just contemplating and thinking. Looks like he has that thinking gaze there. So now we're on pages 4 and 5. Shikamaru says, "Listen closely, Kawaki. Forget Boruto and head to the scene. It seems Boruto considers the trespassers enemies too. We can take advantage of that. Let him stay free." And Kawaki says, "Hey, Lord Eighth, if Himawari's in danger, you should have led with that, bastard."
If things are in proper perspective.
So it looks like Kawaki does his Superman leap. He's flying, and then Delta kind of got left behind and says, "Kawaki, you jerk. Don't you dare leave me behind."
Anything goes!
Yeah, you tell him, Delta. You got Boruto just leaning on the wall. Looks like he's still holding his Karma hand, just really concerned about it. And then Shikamaru says, "Boruto, you okay? What happened?" And then Boruto says, "No worries, a minor issue.
What are you gonna do?
I just need a little break." And so looks like we have a little closer shot panel of the frog that is within the collar of Boruto here. And then looks like Hidari is doing a face-off with Kanemaharu's strike team here. And what's going to happen here? So then we're at pages 6 and 7. Hidari, he looks like he's talking to Juro. He says, "Juro, why in the world do they interfere with us?" Juro says, ask him yourself. Using that exact tone. "I shall go after Himawari."
All conversations are put aside right now, you know what I mean?
And so Jura, he is now in flight too, like Superman. And then looks like one of the shinobi with Kamaharu says, "Hey, he's escaping." Kamaharu says, "To the southwest towards Himawari, as suspected. Let's go." So then Hidari, he of course stops them, blocks their path, and Kamaharu says, "You're blocking our way. Why are you after Himawari?" And then the Hidari guy, he says, "You're all so noisy. What business do you have with us?" And then Kamaharu says, "Huh?" And the shinobi is just as clueless as well. He says, "What business? You clearly don't know your place, intruder." Yeah, you tell him, random shinobi. That's probably going to be yellow shirt of Star Trek. Those who understand that reference, Google it. It's kind of hilarious. Was it the red shirts? Was it the yellow shirts or red shirts? Star Trek, if you've ever seen Star Trek, usually if you wore like a yellow shirt, unless you're a main character, you died. But find out more, I guess. So, Kamaharu says, "Wait a sec." And then looks like he's doing his voiceover communication sensory unit. "I was told that one of the trespassers was Uchiha Sasuke, but I don't see him. What's going on?" And then looks like the sensory unit, they respond back, "The one right in front of you. There's no mistake. His chakra data is an exact match of that of Uchiha Sasuke." Then Kamaharu says, "What the?" And then the Hidari guy, he says, "Answer my question. Are you deaf or feeble-minded?" Oh, then here comes Sarda, oh man, and class rep Simmery. And so Sarda says, "Master Kamaharu." And it looks like the Hidari guy with his Renegon creepy eyes. He looks at Sarda directly. And then Komaru says, Sarda! And then so Sarda says, are you all okay? And so looks like Hidari says in this creepy looking stare, Uchiha Sarda. So now we switch over to pages 10 and 11. Okay, 10 and 11, these panels here. So we got Hidari. He's just ignoring Komaru and that random shinobi there. And then looks like a belt mark. That looks like an X. Oh, X does mark the spot there. And then there's the belt marks that are in parallel with one another in between Sarda and Sumeri. And then looks like Pop goes the Weasel, Hidari, and he looks like he's about to do a Shidori attack on Sarda. And of course, Sarda senses this. And we got a full commitment of the attack of the Shidori. And then, pages 12, we got Sarda activating her Sharingan. She sees it coming. She dodges. Oh yeah, that's a nice move there. She dodges, she ducks, quite awkwardly there, but a duck is a duck, a dodge is a dodge, it counts. And then Komaru is rushing for support. Sarda! And so looks like Sarda, she's like in this weird pose here, and then looks like, oh, she has her own Shidori she's going to counter. And bam! Shidori meets Shidori. Cool. It's a really nice panel. That's going to be cool in the anime. So then we are now at pages 14 and 15. So it looks like Hidari. Yeah, he gets tagged all right. Yep, you can barely see it on the panel, but it looks like there's like a little stretch line of a wound there on the rib cage there. So good job, Sarda. Your father taught you well, even though this is a clone of your father. And then class rep Sumeri says, Sarda! And then looks like Hidari, either he's on a knee or now kind of in a fetal position.
Hurting bad.
Komaru says, are you okay? And then the Hidari guy, he looks like he really felt that, so he's expressing some pain there. And then looks like with Sarda, we switch over to the other panels here. And then Sarda says, that jutsu he attacked with was a Shidori, just like mine and my dad's.
If things are in proper perspective.
Sarda then inquires, who are you? And now for pages 16 and 17, we finally have a conversation between Himawari and the Ninetales plushie. So he says in this panel, I'm Kurama. Well, Ninetales is fine too. Call me whatever you want. I call you the Ninetales plushie. You're gonna like it, Kurama. But anyway, so then we have Himawari says Kurama, and then we have more dialogue. You're the Biju that used to be inside my dad, right? What are you doing here? Actually, where are we? And then Kurama, the Ninetales plushie, says, nowhere real. What you see is your conscious made visible. We are currently exchanging words mind to mind. And then Himura says, mind to mind? Kurama says, of course, cause you and I are a single body and soul.
Ultimate maniacs!
Alright, Ninetales plushie Kurama, yeah, glad to see you back, man. We missed you. We missed you a lot. So now, we got the bird here, the bird in flight of the team, and then looks like Himawari is in that trance there, and Shikadai is just trying to wake her up and say, hey, Himawari! And then looks like he says, it's no use, she's out cold. Did she hit her head at some point? And then looks like Chocho says, Shikadai! So it looks like Jura is in flight like Superman on pursuit. And then we switch over to this other panel. And then Shikadai says, sensor unit, we need backup now. And then Himura is still having her conversation in the nowhere realm. What exactly is going on? Why is this happening? Kurama says, as you just said, my previous self coexisted inside your father Uzumaki Naruto, but in the midst of battle, my flame life was extinguished. And then Himura is still listening, really tuning in, and I'm tuning in because I really want to know what happened. Kurama says, however, death is not eternal for us Biju. Even if our flesh or soul perishes over time, a kernel of us will sprout somewhere, and we will manage to return to life. Great to have you back, Kurama. Still gonna call you the Ninetales plushie because it's funny. But anyway, Himura says, kernel? Kurama says, no one knows how long it will take or where it might sprout, much less that would be inside his daughter, and this soon. The universe is full of mysteries.
No doubt about it, yeah. Yeah. Super guarantee.
And then Kurama continues, you may have been born inheriting a sliver of my chakra, or this was your destiny brought into being by Uzumaki and Hyuga blood that flows within you. And Himawari is just listening, eager to know more here. And so then Kurama says, well, since it's already happened, that the how doesn't matter. What's important is accepting your circumstances and moving forward. Don't you think? And Himawari is just trying to process all of this and says, I'm Uzumaki Himawari. Nice to meet you, Kurama. Alright, so now that we have the reintroductions out of the way, let's go to pages 22 and 23. And then Kurama says, atta girl, Himawari. And so now we're back on the bird. He's catching up faster than Inoji, says, I think that's Chocho. And then we're at full throttle already, he responds. And then Jura is just catching up. Himawari finally snaps out of it and says, Kurama, do something. And then it looks like her teammates are glad to see her awake, because like Chocho is like, Hima, and then Inoji's, whoo, you're back with us. So then now, pages 24 and 25, and Himawari is just looking over her shoulder, and then looks like her teammates are a bit weirded out when she says Kurama. I think it is, not sure if it's Inoji or Shigadai, but either way, one of them says, Kurama? Are you listening? Hey, Himawari, what's the matter? And then Jura is really catching up, and looks like he shuts one of his eyes, and you see his single Rinnegan eye. Oh, it looks like he's about to fire. Oh yeah, you can see it here. You can barely see it, but it's like a small Biju bomb that he shoots out like a bullet, and it clips the wings of the bird. And then Inoji says, for real, damn it? Shoot, we're going down. We're on pages 26 and 27. Chocho, Himawari, Sai-san, and Shigadai, they are all about to go down, and then Chocho says, everyone grab on me. So then she inflates herself like a balloon. Really cool. She basically does Luffy from One Piece, would have done the same exact thing. And then she goes a bounce. They crash into like a valley here. Looks like everyone's okay. Whew, you're a lifesaver, Chocho. Not sure if that was Inoji or Shigadai. I think it was Shigadai that said that. And then now we get Jura. He lands on his feet. Jura looks like he's gonna spill out a compliment here. Again, you're a good team. A true shame I have to dispose of you, but it can't be helped. You yourselves chose this fate. Alright, how polite of you, kind of like Jigen. On pages 28 and 29, we're back to Himawari, and then looks like Himawari says, Kura, and then Kurama, he interrupts and says, don't be spoiled, baby, Himawari. The only one who can do something about this is you. And then Himawari is just looking at Jura directly. And then the plushie-sized Kurama, he says, it should be a no-brainer. Whether you use or quash my powers, it's all up to you. And Himawari says, you say that like it's easy, but how am I supposed to? And then Kurama says, I can sense that your chakra has a higher affinity to mine than any of your predecessors, more than even Naruto's. All right, she is special, blessed with genetics.
Super guarantee.
And then Himawari still listens on, and Kurama says, so get rid of any foolish preconceived biases. First off, you need to believe in yourself, otherwise your future doesn't look bright either way. And so yeah, it's like a good pep talk. So yeah, Kurama hasn't changed at all. This is like the same kind of prep talk he would have given Naruto. So yeah, he hasn't changed in character, even though he's a plushie-sized Kurama. So then Jura is just looking at the group, and Himawari is just staring down. Pages 30 and 31. So then we now have Shigadai. He says, damn it, where's our backup? And then Himawari, she decides to step up. And then Chocho says, Hima! Looks like Himawari is about to say the word run, but she says run, and then she does her little drop missile kick, which is pretty cool. It's going to be cool in the anime. And then Jura catches it. He just twists and snaps her ankle. Oh man, that is painful. Ooh, geez, you really got to look at this. Like, it looks so painful. Oh man.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Oh, I can feel that. Man. And then so, of course, Shigadai and friends, they see this happen, and then Hima just collapses like a rag doll onto the ground. Inoji says, Himawari! So then we're at pages 32 and 33. Man, yeah, you really gotta look at this panel. I mean, yeah, you gotta look at this. Like, she's like in her fetal position with her foot backwards. Oh, man. And she's just in pain. And she thinks to herself, it's no good. There's no way I can. And then looks like Inoji, he retaliates with his own sketch there from his beast scroll. You bastard! He launches his attack. However, and I really have to put the emphasis of a however. Jura, he summons like a spike of trees and just completely nullifies and wipes out the Beast Scroll sketch.
You've had your warning.
And of course, Inoji is just surprised as hell. Himawari is just in pain. And then looks like Himawari is now trapped in a little tree here, and Jura approaches pages 34 and 35 now. And so with Jura, looks like he has a line of dialogue. He says, "We call it devour, but you simply become nourishment for me inside this tree."
Bird.
It isn't painful. There's no need to be afraid. And then Himawari is just trapped, just looks helpless. She just got her new Nine Tails ability, has no idea what to do because it doesn't come with an instruction manual. So then Himawari is just helpless in that tree, and then Jura begins to, he actually continues on with his dialogue, and you'll eventually stop feeling anything, including that fractured leg of yours. And then Inoji says, "You, give me a break." And then he goes ahead and just attacks head on. Shigedai says, "Inoji, don't!" And then of course, Jura just knees him in the gut.
You've had 2 warnings.
And then he's now right beside Himawari by the tree. Sai's son Inoji is just gassed out now from that knee to the gut. Himawari says, "Please stop! Leave him out of it!" And then Jura says, "I concur. I don't know why they won't stop." So now we have pages 36 and 37. And then looks like Inoji just crawls. He's like crawling, and he has like the toe or the foot of Jura. He says, "Let go of her." And then now we get a shocking panel here where he's impaled by the tree.
And now this time you're hurting bad.
Utter tragedy. I'm sorry for only calling you Sai's son.
You're hurting bad.
Oh, I'm gonna miss you, man. Gonna miss you. Been impaled.
Bad.
And of course, Chocho and Shigedai, they are shocked. Chocho says, "No!" And then Shigedai says, "Inoji!" Himawari has to witness this from her little tree capture here. And then Juro says, "Hold on. I think I read about this somewhere. Could this be the thing known as aesthetics?"
Proper perspective.
Okay. Alright, you have a really weird way of reacting to things, Jura. I think you're weirder than Jigen. But anyways, we got pages 38 and 39. And then Jura is just looking at the dead impaled Inoji, and then he now looks elsewhere to where he captured Himawari, and looks like Chocho and Shigedai, they notice this too. And looks like we got the Nine Tails tentacles, or arms, whatever you want to call them. They're just popping out like an octopus, even though it's just the nine-tailed fox. And then looks like she's now in her like low-level Kurama mode. I forgot which technical level this was, but I'm sure somebody will think of it in the comments, hopefully. So then she says, "I said to stop it." And now she is busting out of that tree capture. She now has those dark, shadowy eyes that you would normally see from the Nine Tails, from a Nine Tails Jinchuriki, or any Jinchuriki for that matter. And then Chocho is shocked. So Shigedai, he says, "Himawari?" And then Juro says, what is this sudden shift? Then Kurama says, "Heh, you've totally snapped. Well then, shall I run amok some Himawari?" And then we are to be continued. Oh man, what an action-packed chapter. These chapters are not slowing down. They're not slowing down at all. Oh yeah! If you enjoyed this chapter and my reaction to it, and you want to see more, make sure you subscribe to me, ring that bell so you'll be notified of future reactions. And then until next time, next chapter, we look forward to chapter 11 with more action and more of Himawari and her Nine Tails powers. Oh yeah! I dig it, Himawari! I hope you kick ass in chapter 11!
Welcome to the big time, 'cause we're already here.